This is an Hour with the Wolfpack show review of Eastbound and Down. This is K-Dog.
Fano.
This is Mike, reviewing episode 1 of season 1 of Eastbound and Down.
So basically, the first episode just introduces a character named Kenny Powers, who was once on top of the world as a baseball pitcher, and he kind of lost his pitch. His arm loses his arm. I'm assuming the character's in his late 30s, early 40s, probably, and basically.
But no, it showed when he said he was 19.
Yeah, well, that's when.
But then the show says 7 years later.
No way. So he's what?
Yeah,
20. There's
years later.
Several.
Several. It didn't say 7.
So that was after his career.
Yeah, there's no way he's 26 in the show.
Well,
he's old. He's out of shape, and basically the character has to go back to his hometown. He's kind of seems like he's out of money, and he gets a job as a substitute PE teacher. So he's basically living a whole, his lifestyle definitely has to go down. So, that's how the show gets introduced.
No, at the beginning of the episode, it's just basically super famous, then goes through all the downfall, and has to get the shitty job.
Yeah.
Then he goes back to his hometown, but then he, meets some chick he dated, and she's fucking the principal.
Yeah, she's a real good-looking chick.
And he has to live with his brother. His brother has a family, and they're all together.
Yeah.
So,
but the show is just funny as hell. His character just, has a mullet, and he just thinks he's just the top dog.
Is he white trash?
I mean, is that the whole?
Yeah, that's the thing. He's from. I think the show fictitious. It's fictitious, but I think it's either South Carolina or North Carolina. Probably South because he goes to Myrtle Beach later on, but. He's just a Southern dude. I think he's just lower middle class. He's not super poor.
He has the mullet, the truck.
Yeah, he's back, but that's
drinks Miller High Life.
Yeah, he's definitely just lower middle class.
Jet ski.
Yeah. No, they're just he's just a work. He's from a working class Southern background, but he made it big in the majors. But he has to, swallow his pride and go back and get a job.
He won the World Series.
Yeah, he won the World Series.
19, supposedly.
He's got, it seems, what's a drinking and drug habit. But just shows, this is just the way they start off the show is basically, it's the end of Kenny Powers, the baseball star, and, he's going back, and the girl that his high school, I don't know if you want to say it, sweetheart, she's marrying, she's getting married to the principal. So he seems to just be going through this transitional period.
Even after he failed, he still seems like he's all about himself.
Yeah, because he's got Kenny Powers. You can recognize it from episode 1. Has probably the biggest ego ever of any fictional character that I've ever come across. He just thinks he's the man.
Well, even in his dumps, though.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, he's at the lowest point of his life. But
yeah, that's what's great about it.
Not he's crying. He's like the sad clown. He's happy on the outside, or being all macho, but he's sad as fuck.
And I don't think he can come to terms with his days of being a rock star have come to an end.
Well, he said it when he was talking to his brother, his wife. Regular life so exhausting.
Yeah.
Getting up, going, and he's right.
Yeah.
Everything Kenny Powers is saying is right because it is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, and it's once he's lived the high life, how it's hard to go back to that.
Why would you want to go back?
Because his whole thing is I'm just a rock star. I just play sports. I party, get with groupies, and he lives it to the,
Yeah, there's a lot of funny shit to say though.
Yeah, what were some of your funny? What do you think were couple of the funniest things?
I don't remember the exact quotes, but I just like how he's just with everyone. He's just straight up.
Yeah.
Saying some crazy.
Well, I thought I was cracking up in the scene where I
like how the intro, how he that guy recognizes him, he just knocks him out.
Yeah.
And the show starts.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good intro.
I love the scene too. They're at the dinner table because he has to crash at his brother's house, and there's obviously tension between his sister-in-law, and I was just cracking up the line where they're like, did we get that Christmas card? Did you get the Christmas? They sent him Christmas cards, but he's like, did you get that tanning bed I sent you? He was so high roller that he sent them a tanning bed as a Christmas gift. Like, I thought that was, like, hilarious.
Yeah.
Only Kenny Powers would... You get a Christmas gift from Kenny Powers as a freaking tanning bed.
Yeah, it's kind of like, why would you send your brother Dustin?
But the funny thing, I don't know if you caught it, that she's like, that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, but he's like, it was a tanning bed.
But I mean, was he still famous 3 years ago?
Yeah, like, I think it's like the last... No, I think probably his last few years.
Several shitty years.
Yeah.
Means like 2 years.
2 to 3, yeah.
No, he like basically got the majors, blew the rest of his money, and then had to go get a job. Which, at least it shows he's somewhat like still wants to live,
Yeah, he's not suicidal, but...
Yeah, but he's definitely...
But
like,
you could tell Kenny Powers this is, in his mind, is just a transitional short period. That you could even tell that...
Do you ever think that basically the character is just like a straight addict? And like, that's just like a typical...
Well, of course he's an addict. I mean, like, he does cocaine and...
But like how like an addict, in real life, how addicts deal with their life, do a bunch of crazy shit.
Yeah. No, he's definitely like a...
He does like... Cool
he's a recluse. He's definitely a recluse, like...
He's a successful addict.
Well, he's a famous addict.
Yeah.
But now he's got to, like, face reality, like, I got to...
Who everybody loved for being fucking crazy, So he just, like, even amped him up even more.
The funny thing is they say he's loosely based on this guy, John Rocker.
Oh, who's that?
A real actual baseball player, and they did this little documentary. Kenny Powers is way more, like, intense and way more cooler. But they said, like, the character's loosely based off this real pitcher, John Rocker. Who said, like, said some racist stuff. And
John Rocker said, like, a bunch of racist shit.
Yeah. And even Kenny Powers says, like, there's this line in it, like, it's not politically correct because there's that line where he goes, like, he's a Yankee, and, like, what's it like playing for New York? And he goes, Jew York? You mean Jew York? And, like,
it's all... the guy really said that?
No, in the show, you didn't catch that line? They're
yeah.
like, Kenny, what's it like living in New York? And Kenny's like, you mean Jew York?
Yeah. No, but,
And I love the scene, too, when the interviewer's like, Kenny, are you on steroids? He's like, I'm not on fucking steroids! Like, he has, like, road rage.
How do you feel about the jet ski?
It's pretty pimp, the leopard jet ski. What is it, purple with
Purple and green.
And leopard print.
Bird jet ski.
Because back, that's probably a southern thing in South Carolina. They just go on the water.
Badass. Well, yeah, there's lakes and shit. They don't have beaches. So they got lakes and jet skis.
I think that jet ski's symbolic. That's his last bit of thing that he has. That's his link to his past where he was... So
I think it's funny how he told his brother he's going to sell it, but then doesn't. Yeah. Well, at least in this episode, I don't see that he sold this.
And then his little nephew was on it, and he's like, get off that Blonde Ambition tour. If you dry accelerate it on land, that would ruin it. So obviously the jet ski means a lot to him. But I guess like my uncle, it's funny, I have an uncle who looks like Kenny Powers, and he was always like that. If I fucked with his shit, he'd yell at me.
What do you think about his audio tapes?
Those audio tapes, I wish to God, like, I don't want to jump too far ahead of the series, but I wish to God...
No, yeah, you're talking. You can't, well, yeah.
No, I'm just saying...
As in the episode.
No, that episode, like, that's hilarious that he was recording, because that just shows...
He wasn't recording, he was listening to himself.
So he already did it, yeah. But that just shows how his ego is. He thinks that he could release his audiobook and people are just going to be like, Kenny's the shit.
No, he did release it and it made money, but he has a copy and he listens to
it to remind himself. That just shows what his ego is. He's just
reminding himself of his glory.
So...
He just has a lot of good quotes.
Yeah. Like every line, I love the show because like every line, he's just awesome. Like
I like in the background how there's like funny shit going on and if you pick it up, it's pretty much
another funny scene, like it's like his first or second day on the job, and he like his ex-girlfriend and her fiance, the principal, and the other teachers are all serious and formal, and he walks up with his tray to sit there at lunch, and he's like, I just saw 2 kids raping. Like he's just so like he was making it up, raping another kid, and like that just shows how Kenny Powers is just like
the jokester.
Yeah, the jokester. But they're like, what the fuck, kids are raping?
Well, I like how they brought that Stevie guy. But
Stevie
like,
Janowski?
And he didn't remember.
But he's like, didn't remember, didn't care, but yeah. I don't know, that just reminds me of like school.
Yeah, when you're like, the kid who like remembers someone. And
there's always someone that remembers somebody, but the other person's like, I don't know who the fuck you are.
Because I've been on both ends of it. I've been like where someone comes up to me and they're like, oh yeah, I remember you. And I'm like, I do not. Like I went to this wedding and there was this chick who I guess I was like, I don't
she
remember.
Hot?
No, she wasn't. But she's like, I remember.
Yes, that's why you didn't remember her. Kenny Powerline right
She
there.
was like, I remember you. It's like, I do not remember you. But then there's been times where I've been like I was at this other wedding and I was at my uncle's funeral and my cousin's friends came and I was like, hey, you remember? And he's like, I don't remember you, but I had more hair back then, so. But I had the same face.
The Stevie guy seems kind of cool, but as a character, so far.
So you haven't watched, Bonnie? You haven't watched season 1,
matter.
Dude,
no,
you're gonna
watched any of it.
You're gonna be.
We're just reviewing.
Wait, what was the other funny? There was
1.
one more funny thing that I really thought was hilarious.
Which is what?
I like the janitors were like, where's you fucking going?
It's only first
and
period.
And then they were like stereotypical janitors, like the old black janitor with like the young troubled black kid. You know, trying to like school him up. I just think everything in the show's like perfectly placed there.
Yeah, it's all perfect.
To like make fun of like stereotypes, which is like really
Oh, funny. This was a line I liked. Because everyone these days, it's like the whole CrossFit craze. And everyone's just like working out. But I love the line when the principal's like, oh, I'm all fit. And then he goes, I'm not that. Yeah, the principal's all trying to exercise. And he's like, I play real sports. I'm not trying to be the best at exercising. But that's just like a line you could like say to like, people are always working out. It's just like, I play sports. I'm not trying. I thought that was hilarious. I'm not trying to be the best at exercising.
Yeah. I don't know, that principal guy's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's like a nerdy.
He's like the typical.
He's the opposite of Kenny Powers, which is funny because that's who his girl is with now. So. But yeah, it was a good first episode, and we'll be reviewing episode 2
soon. Yeah, we'll be
soon.
finishing, it's called Eastbound and Down, right?
Eastbound and Down.
Yeah, so...
It's funny, Eastbound and Down, but I usually just think of the shows like Kenny Powers.
Yeah, well, yeah. So
like Seinfeld, it's like Kenny Powers.
What do you think Seinfeld is? A fucking Jerry?
What?
What else do you think Seinfeld's called?
Yeah, no, I know it's called Seinfeld.
That's the show.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I think of the show is called like
Kenny Powers.
Like
Eastbound.
Yeah, but
down's a metaphor.
Yeah,
And
it's funny in Lakeside in San Diego. There's a bar called no, it's called Eastbound. Actually, it's not called Eastbound and Down.
All right. Well, I guess I'll finish up the review on Eastbound and Down. What's the episode called? What's the title of it?
Oh, do they title them?
There must be a title for it. But I like the ending too, and he comes in and it's like ranchero looking.
Yeah,
he does chapters.
It's cool how he wears those like turquoise Native American necklaces.
So episode 1's called Chapter 1.
Yeah, he does just chapters. Chapter 1.
That's cool. All right. Well,
so stay tuned for episode 2 review.
Yeah,
and if you haven't seen the show, you're sorely missing out. Go pick up the Blu-rays or DVDs or stream it.
Yeah, because I don't think you can Netflix it, so...
Yeah. Or it might be on HBO on demand, but...
Yeah. So.
Definitely, like, you're
too great to just...
You're missing out if you're not watching this show.
Yeah, so... It's Fano, and I'm out.
K-Dog.
K-Dog's out.
I'm out.
Mike's out. Alright.